Hi, I'm Seamless, and today I'm going to show you a bass in a track that I started and then I'm just not going to finish. So this little drop bit, I'm just going to give you as an FLP, and it'll work pretty much anywhere and for anywhere because the whole thing is made with flex. And the thing I'm going to show you today is the bass and the layer that's on top of it. I think you'll hear which one I'm talking about when I play it. I'm going to play it. It's kind of loud, but here it is in 3, 2, 1. Isn't that fun? Alright, so I want to play this again, but this time with just the main bass. And it has this extra layer, which is kind of like just doing extra texture, but I'm considering it part of just the same sound because I genuinely wanted what that was. So that was the plan. So here goes. This guy showed up when I silenced them together because this dude is actually sidechaining him because he's got air and stuff going on to him. So on top of the kick and snare sidechain, there's also just this guy's sidechain to make sure that it always kind of shows up with the right amount of with that extra air. Also of note is that the drums in this are also from Flex. I've used this one, the Kick Factory and Snare Factory, and they sound pretty cool. And then just this drums menu option. There's actually a bunch of other ones other than this, but this one was pretty cool for pretty EDM-y focused stuff. And it's perfect for just exactly the flavor I wanted to add to this while I was working on it. Anyway, the main bass in this is this dude, Abyss Scorpion. So, alright, this is Flex. What is Flex? Flex is essentially a very complicated big synthesizer that's whittled down to these controls that you're seeing. So other designers, you can see there's a bunch, are given the designer, and we get to make the thingy with like a lot of ways. There's a lot of things, but I can't tell you what they are because we're not allowed to. But the end result is that you get this sort of control surface to work with stuff. The thing is not all of them they're all made by different people with different ideas, different plans for what stuff's supposed to be. And in particular for mine, because I made a pack of bass crazy sort of loud stuff, and on top of the things like these controllers that I added, they got to be these pattern controls that were added by the image line team to make them more kind of readily insertable into something in an easily accessibly rhythmic sense. Which, cool beans. However, it did mask kind of the main point of the sound. So if we just go find that sound from a nothing, go to the one that's mine, and bam. That's what it sounds like when you try and play it. And the way you mess with this is you take the filter. Yeah. Then the rest of this stuff more or less works the way it should. Which the way it should work is that this mod characteristic is modulating a pulse width control. You can kind of tell with how it goes away when they go too far to one end, which is what happens. And that controls for how sharp this sharpness is. There's also a talkie kind of phasey filter involved, and you have control of that right here. On top of the actual macro control. So this is sort of like a macro in Serum or Phase Plant, where it's controlled with a bunch of other parameters that are put together in a way that's like a range that I wanted to be involved with. And then this is just the main control of one of those elements, which is the filter. So that's that sound. This is the sound that I wanted to show off as like a primary one. But basically every sound in the pack I have has basically that depth of control, but with this sort of patterny business on top of it. So you got to turn the patterny thing off if you want that depth of control, which is sort of like the advanced mode version of what ImageLine really was going for, which is something simpler than that, but, you know, leave it to me to overcomplicate things. Yeah, on top of that, so that was the main guy that's used in this track here, this drop. And he's got, you heard, you know, is very sharp, very present, very there. And because of that very sharp, chunky waveform, basically enough room for lots of other stuff to happen, and that's kind of this dude, and these two dudes, this is actually two dudes. A bunch of dudes. How many dudes? Two dudes. Yeah, and I could have used a flex to make a sub, but I actually just made Harmer a sub out of reflex. So I have this harpsichord sounding thing, and then this harp bell business. And the two qualities that I'm looking for with both of these elements that I just scrolled for randomly until I found them was essentially the total polar opposite sensation of the other guy. Very smooth, very there. And I held it along by delaying it a bit to kind of convolve it and then compress the absolute nuts off of it so that it would be that kind of like smoothed out. Because they're both very plucky sounds. But like a piano, this is sort of the like I mentioned, one of those is a harpsichord. In the real world, a harpsichord and a piano, the piano is this like hyper super high tech version of a harpsichord, where a harpsichord has always had this very sharp plucky pluck to it, but a piano meant that you could have that sound if you wanted to, you hit it hard enough. Also, you could just not do that and have very, very plainly and heard that even sheen of a sound. And I wanted the even sheen of a sound, and we're doing that by compression. And then it's reverbed again, and then compressed again, and then sidechained appropriately. And then that's leveled up, but like very pulled down. The leveling situation is difficult to look at in context because this is under a lot of compression. And so some of the choices are like, oh, well, yeah, the power does work out that way because these signals do add up that way. See, like, very. Here's our sub. So, on that main guy, we noticed that there are, like, you move those knobs and they sound pretty great, and I'm moving them. I have all four of them here for the main dude, and these are the extra dudes that happen in the middle. Am I also main modding the other dude? Nope, just the main dude. So I basically automated all four of these knobs. And just in kind of regular me fashion, it was pretty arbitrary as to where the actual positions went. It's just so far as like if it was in one place at one moment in the part of the arrangement, it had to go somewhere else later, and then during the fill moments, it would go a lot, and mostly just A/Bing stuff until it worked or didn't. And that's how we got to about here. And then I started another one that was doing all of this but better, and that's kind of why I let go with this one. It tends to happen. Like when I started tracking, I get to about this far, and I do a lot of things that have a lot of good ideas, but then I get some better ideas about how I could have done all of that way, way better, and then I go do that, and that's how these projects die. But if you guys want to mess with it, you absolutely can. You have my permission to do literally whatever with it. I don't care if you put my name on it or not. Don't go saying that this was a collaboration. Like, oh, I guess it totally is a collaboration. Yeah, you can go ahead and say it's a collaboration or a remix, or you could just call it your own thing and put your name on it and not my name. I really, honestly don't care. But cool, you get to have this little context bit, plus also that sound. Plus also, if you just have FL Studio, you don't even need to download anything. You already have all this. My pack, especially, is one of the free ones. It's not there because I already downloaded it. But if you don't have it, you go there. You open up Flex, go to free, and then you can download inside Flex the new packs. There's also ones that aren't free, but mine is, I'm pretty sure. Could have sworn it was. Whether or not, though, there's a bunch of other ones, and they're all, and like, honestly, the one that I'm doing better, which you will see some stuff on for, because I made it to do visuals for, I actually used other packs bases to cooler effect, in my opinion. But I always think that about other people's stuff. And if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And as usual, have a nice day.